Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is actually going to be the first vlog I'm doing for school. So as you can see, I'm in a different background. I'm actually in the basement. This is where our art studio is, where we have our game room, and where I have my office, which is right here. So I just wanted to, first of all, welcome you to a new kind of format for my vlogs. I'm actually going to be doing, like I had mentioned in my update video that I had just recently done on my channel. If you haven't checked it out, please check it out right here to get it, to not get spoilers for what I'm about to talk about right now. In case you have already seen it or don't really care and just want to hear me talk right now, my vlogs are going to be a little bit more different. They're not just going to be about reading. They're also going to be about my experiences with art school, because I'm just starting art school actually today. It is now, August 30th. So it is technically my first day of classes. They're all online, so I don't really have any specific times I have to be in classes, but I have all my assignments for the week. I have all my readings. So I thought I would go over a little bit of what I'm doing this week, what I want to read this week, and I'm going to also take you along in my journey of, just kind of learning some stuff. If you're interested, please like this video and please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more vlogs like this. I'm hoping to do this weekly, so hopefully you guys can get a little bit of an insight on what's going on in my life. First of all, I wanted to just kind of go over a little bit of what my week looks like. And I also thought I'd give you a little bit of a tour of this area, because I think I might have shown a little bit of down here, but I haven't actually given a proper tour of what our basement looks like. I know some of the stuff in the background isn't exactly great. It was kind of left over from my parents. This is actually my parents' home that I had bought recently. So that American flag, I'm probably going to end up taking it down, putting a pride flag up there, to be honest. So let me go ahead. So what I'm going to do first is I'll go ahead and show you over in this side of the room first. So this is the entrance to the basement. This is actually where our front door is, over to the right. And we have over here, this is Lucas, my fiance's little area. He doesn't use this too often. He's going to end up using it more, hopefully soon. But he has his all-in-one computer, which he doesn't use too much because he has a desktop computer upstairs in his office. We have our Cricut, which we use for stickers and stuff. We have this little area that's his kind of arts and crafts desk. He uses it for a lot of things, mostly making cards and stuff like that. And then we have this kind of middle area that's kind of both of our areas. It has a lot of my inks for when I do ink drawings, and it has markers, Copic markers and stuff like that. It has another Cricut that's really old. And then over here we have this majority of my area. So this is my art desk. It has a lot of really neat stuff. Sorry for the lighting, it's kind of weird over here. And then we have some of my other stuff. This is my light studio, that my light box that I used to take pictures in a lot. There's just kind of miscellaneous stuff that I kind of just have slightly organized. This is my diamond painting that I started working on. It's Bailey J's. I forget exactly. I think it's called At Peace. I bought it on the Diamond Paint website. I started working on it months ago. I still haven't really done much. I'm halfway done with it so far. If you're interested in seeing speed ups of me working on it, please let me know. I have some more art supplies down here. And then I have my easel. I have one of my paintings right here. It's kind of just an aloe vera plant. It was cute. I was working with gouache, I believe, when I did it. I have another painting over there that was from a paint and sip on a design kind of thing. And then over here we have a couple of our printers. That's a really nice one. That's our old one. Just some storage down here. This is our giant, I think it's a 65-inch TV that has kind of our gaming area. And I mean, it's a mess over there, so don't look over there. But really comfortable couch I love sitting on, watching stuff when we watch it. And then this is my office. So I haven't actually spent a lot of time in this area recently because I've been using Lucas's computer, but I just recently bought a Mac to use for design school. So I'm using that primarily. I'm going to be using this desk right here. It's a little crowded right now because I just brought some stuff down to be able to talk with you guys about it. But that just has just some space for me to work on when I put my laptop right there. This right here is my main PC. I'm not going to be using it as much for school because I'm going to be using some pretty heavy Photoshop and Premiere and stuff like that. My computer can't handle that. It's really old. But I use it for recording Pokemon. So if you watch my Pokemon Black series, I'm recording it on this PC with this microphone. I also do D&D. So again, if you're interested in listening to the D&D sessions that I do with my group, check that out. I also do that on here. But yeah, so this is my desk little area. And then over here, I just have a couple of miscellaneous stuff. I have my all of my D&D books. I have quite a few of them. I have just a couple like pop figures and stuff like that. And then over here is my giant wall of pop figures and Pokemon plushies. I'm actually really proud of this setup. I actually took a lot of time to like put it together. And as you can see, I'm running out of room. I'm probably going to have to like consolidate some stuff. I'm even tempted to pass on a couple of my pop figures that I'm not like as much of a fan of anymore. It's mostly the Rick and Morty ones over there. But yeah, I'm really proud of this setup, and I kind of wish that I used it more as a background. I may use it at some point if I do streaming with Facecam, but I love this. I love this setup. Yeah, and apologies for my hair being wet. I just took a shower, but I wanted to go ahead and record this as soon as possible. So I just wanted to quickly go over a couple things. I think in the beginning of my vlogs, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the books that I really want to read. So I still want this to be kind of a reading vlog. I'll kind of update you as I go with my reading progress and like when I'm reading, what my thoughts were on the stuff. I'm also going to go over quickly like all of the like main things I really want to work on this week. So like my editing and I don't know, just like the schoolwork that I have. And yeah, I'm hoping to kind of give you a bit more of like an insight of like what I do during the week. And I'm also going to have recordings like I don't know if it's necessarily be speed draws, but I'll have recordings of some of the work that I do for school. I'll include those whenever I do something significant that I thought was interesting throughout the week. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I have planned for the week. So I made my bullet journal spread for September. It was based on Amanda Rachel Lee's, it's like a vegetable kind of spread. It was really cute. That's the cover. I don't know, I thought it was really cute. Went ahead and I wrote down, I'm not going to show you all of this, but I have a calendar spread of when I'm going to upload videos on my YouTube channel. It's primarily based on Pokemon Black, the Nuzlocke series that I'm doing, Where the Magic Happens, D&D campaign, the weekly vlogs that you're seeing right now, and then I have a couple booktube videos that I still plan on doing. So check those out. They are going to be uploaded on Saturdays. At least that's the plan. And then I have a checklist of like all the things that I'm trying to do. So all the videos I have to record, edit, and upload, the reading that I have to get done, all the schoolwork that I have to get done, and some like miscellaneous stuff. It's a pretty concise checklist, but the thing I wanted to show you is over here. It's a really simple spread this month because I'm gonna be really busy. But this is my September TBR. Just a couple like books that I have planned. If you haven't already checked out that video, I should have it uploaded already at this point to kind of explain like what my TBR is for the month. I was playing Bookopoly or Bookoplathon from, I believe it was Back in the Books that I was doing it. So this is my Bookoplathon TBR, and then this is kind of like a spread for the Magical Readathon Orilion. I'm going to be having a special video for that. I think you would have already seen it by now, but it is just a video kind of explaining the TBR for that and my character creation that I did for it. So I'm not planning on reading all of these books in this month. I don't have enough time to read all of them. I do want to read all of them at some point, though, just for fun. So I had a list of those, and there's a few more on this page. It was more for like the character creation aspects, but I don't have to do that until like by April of 2022. And then just like my reading log, very simple spread, and then my weekly spread. So I just wanted to quickly show you that just to kind of show you it's a very simple spread again because I'm not used to doing this right yet. But just to kind of go over a couple things, I am going to be doing a lot of editing. Now that I have the Mac, I can actually work a lot more like outside of home. Originally, I was only able to edit videos when I was home because the only computer that could edit was on Lucas's PC. But now that I have the Mac, it works really well for editing videos. So I'm going to be editing both at home and at work at times. I am going to be editing the D&D Where the Magic Happens episode 2. I'm actually almost done editing that already. I was doing a lot of that yesterday. So I'm hoping to finish editing that. And I also want to edit a couple episodes of the Pokemon Black series. I have to edit episode 4. Yeah, episode 4 and 5. And then I also want to edit the August wrap up because I haven't actually recorded that yet. So I'm going to record and edit that so that I can have that up by next weekend. And then the Magical Readathon TBR, like I mentioned, I have to record and edit that as well. So those are like all my editing things that I'm doing this week. I also, just to kind of very briefly mention it, I have 2 textbooks for the semester that I'm working on with school. I have Introduction to Media Literacy. It's kind of like an introduction to like explaining how to work social media, to like kind of use it to your advantage, to like figure out buzzwords, to figure out the market and like what makes people interested in like different posts and different honestly I don't really know because I've never really learned much about this stuff, so I'm actually really excited to read about this stuff. This week I'm going to be working on increasing media literacy and figuring out mass media audience in the industry. So I'm learning about that in that class, and then I have a Principles and Practice of Graphic Design. It's a graphic design course that I'm taking, which I'm really excited about. I'm going to be learning a lot of stuff on Photoshop, which I know a decent amount of already, but this class I'm going to be learning mostly about tools and technologies in Photoshop, kind of photography basics and sourcing images. And this textbook's really cool because it gives me a lot of examples and like a lot of like practice things to use on Photoshop. So those are the things that I'm working primarily on with school. And then as far as books are concerned, I am still reading A Gathering of Shadows, which was on my August TBR. I have 200 pages left of it. I'm really enjoying the book so far. And I'm definitely hoping to finish this by tomorrow, by Tuesday. If I don't, I've read enough of it to feel like I can warrant saying that I have completed the TBR, which is good. So I am going to be finishing this hopefully in the next 2 days. And then the rest of the week, I'm hoping to read most, if not all, of Legendary by Stephanie Garber. This is actually the first book for the Magical Readathon. And I wanted to make sure that I read this before I read any of my... This isn't part of my TBR for September, but I really want to make sure that I read this before I read that TBR because it was the very first prompt for the Magical Readathon. The second prompt is actually Middle Game, which is on my TBR. So I wanted to make sure that I at least got those 2 done to be able to fulfill that readathon. And so I'll read this one first, and I should be able to get to it throughout the week. But yeah, so sorry for the long introduction. I know it was kind of a little rambly. I think this vlog is going to be really long, but I just really wanted to give you a quick tour of my space and to kind of introduce you to what the week's going to be like. So I will check back with you maybe later today or tomorrow. Okay, this is actually a background that you guys probably recognize. Hello. So it is actually September 2nd. It is Thursday. It's been a few days since I have vlogged. I've actually been trying to like kind of keep up and trying to get used to my first week of classes and everything like that. But I just wanted to quickly check in. It's been a few days. It's been quite a bit of work that I've been doing. I'm pretty much done with my readings and with discussion posts for my classes. It wasn't actually as hard as I thought it would be. Like the readings were very informative and it actually really taught me a lot, which, I mean, obviously readings do that, but like normally the readings are kind of boring for me. These classes actually feel like they're teaching me something, which is really nice. Like it's kind of what they're meant for, to be honest. And the discussion posts were easy to write, but I was trying to be as thoughtful as I could with what we were talking about. Just to kind of really briefly go over it, the graphic design discussion was pretty much just like an introduction to yourself and to kind of give an idea of like what kind of a brand name you want to do. So for like the big final project you have to do for the class, you have to like come up with a brand name and you have to kind of make a collage of that name where you have like the name, but then in each of the letters you have like some sort of a picture that like kind of describing what the brand is, like what you are. And you have to use like Photoshop and Illustrator for that and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to like kind of learn how to do that and to kind of go from there. I'm probably going to be using my brand that I already have come up with, which is Wizard's Craft. It's my Etsy store actually. I have an Etsy store, but I haven't really done much with it ever since I first started with it like half a year ago. But I probably will use that as my brand name. Although I'm reading an article right now to kind of give me an idea of like if that is a good idea or not, because obviously I can change it. I haven't really done too much with the Etsy store yet, and I can obviously change the name if I feel like it's if it's needed. But anyway, so that's our main project. That's a discussion post that we did for graphic design. And then for my communications class, we had to do a discussion on media literacy, visual literacy, and media communications, and kind of like what that means to us and how we see it impacting consumers, and also to kind of pick what's called an artifact, which is a advertisement, and kind of describe like why we chose that advertisement and what we're planning on doing with it with our final project, which for that class is pretty much taking the artifact and kind of going really in depth with it, and like why the advertiser did what they did, what the message was, how it impacts us, and how it might impact like the consumer. And I chose an artifact that was basically a kid, and in place of his eyes are his mouth. Like his mouth is open, like in surprise, and both of his eyes are the same mouth. And it's really disturbing, but like the whole point of that message, the whole point of the artifact is that you can't control what kids see in media, what kids can take from media, from YouTube and from websites and stuff like that. Like, it's hard to control that, and you don't know exactly what they see. And I don't have children, but I really thought that that was a very powerful message, and like the advertisement itself was kind of creepy, and I think that that really drew me in versus some of the other artifacts that were in there. So we did discussion posts for those, and I thought that was actually really fun to kind of give my thoughts, and we have to respond to other people's posts as well. Like that's part of our grade. So I'm excited to see what other people have thought, and if anyone else has also chosen that artifact. So I worked on that. I also watched a lot of tutorials and videos on how to use Photoshop, which I already know how to use it quite a bit, but I actually learned a few tricks that I already have used for like my thumbnails and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that you'll kind of see a difference. I actually noticed that a couple of my thumbnails recently have been a little cut off, and it's because I was using Lucas's computer. I didn't realize that the dimensions on it was slightly off, like I didn't quite put them in right. So I tweaked that, and I also did a couple of things that I had just learned from the graphic design class as well in my thumbnail creation. So that was really cool that I'm already kind of getting something out of these classes, that I'm already kind of putting them into my work, into what I do like every day. So I've been working a lot on that stuff. I still have to do a few kind of reading assignments that aren't really assignments, but they're like meant to teach us how to use the tools and stuff. I still have to do those, and I also have to do the responses for the posts. So my schoolwork hasn't been too bad this week. It was a little stressful at first, but now that I'm almost done with the week, I'm kind of feeling like, okay, it wasn't that bad. I can definitely spread it out a little bit more from what I even did. I'm obviously not working on the projects yet, but like I'm going to be in the next week or two, so I'm already kind of feeling a bit more comfortable with like the workload and what I'm doing. But besides that, I have also been able to read. I'm really happy that I was able to read. Not as much as I usually do during the week, but I was able to finish A Gathering of Shadows, which is the second book in V. Schwab's Magic trilogy. I don't really know exactly what it's called, but I absolutely loved it. I ended up giving it 5 stars. I gave the first book in the trilogy 5 stars also, so I really, really enjoyed it still. It was very much a setup kind of book. Like, it definitely, like, a lot happened and a lot, like, plot-wise happened, but I could tell, like, once it hit the middle of the book that it was definitely setting up for the last book. And the last book is by far the longest of the books. I think it's like 700 pages. The ending was a huge cliffhanger. I don't want to talk too much about like the details and like why I felt this way about this book, because obviously it's second in the series, so I don't want to spoil anything. It's kind of hard not to spoil anything, because like the very beginning is like definitely something that you shouldn't know until you've read the first book. But I really loved it. It was definitely like I was actually, yesterday I finished it, and I think it was the beginning of my shift. I work second shift, in case you didn't know. And it was the beginning of my shift, and I had time. And I had to do some schoolwork, but I ended up starting to read. I had like 50 pages left of the book, and I couldn't put it down. Like, I was like 20 some pages away from when I wanted to stop reading and start doing some schoolwork. I had like 20 pages left, and I was like, I can't stop now. I have to finish this. And I did, and I'm so glad that I did. It was so amazing. But I finished that. It's technically the first book I finished in the month of September. Even though I had started reading it in August, I'm counting it for September. It was part of my August TBR, so that is now completely done. And I'm actually going to be filming the wrap-up video for August, and I'm also going to film my, not Merlin, the Magical Readathon TBR and character creation video. I'm going to be filming those actually right after I film this clip. I have to make dinner even though it's lunchtime. Because I work second shift, I kind of have to make meals before I go into work. So I'm going to be making dinner. I'm going to be making a tuna casserole, which I'm really excited about. So anyway, I'm going to be recording those videos next, and I am really excited because I'm starting my September TBR finally. I was originally going to read Legendary. I know that's what I said in the first clip. But I actually ended up deciding on starting Yolk by Mary H.K. Choi. It's also part of the Magical Readathon. I believe it was for prompt 4. I can't remember off the top of my head. You'll see in the video. I think you would have already seen that video before this one came up. It's part of the Magical Readathon. It's also for yellow cover in Bookoplathon from my September TBR. And yeah, I'm really excited to start reading it. I got about 50 pages in last night. I read a little bit during work and a little bit before I went to bed. And it's really good so far. It's a contemporary about these two sisters that haven't talked to each other for a few years. And the one sister finds out that, I think her name is Jane. So Jane finds out that June, her older sister? Yeah, older sister has cancer. And she's kind of like trying to figure out, like, okay, should I be sad about that? Like, yeah, I am sad about that, but what does that mean to my life? Like, what's going to change? And her life is very interesting. Like, both of their lives are really interesting. But you mainly follow Jane's story, and I'm really excited to see what the story like has to it. It's about 380 pages long, so I've already finished 50 pages. I'm hoping to get a good chunk of it done by the weekend, so that I could finish it at the beginning of next week. But yeah, no, I'm really enjoying it so far. And I'm hoping to obviously read that throughout the week whenever I get the chance between schoolwork. The only other thing I wanted to mention real quick before I finish off this clip is that I have been working on my Pokemon Black Randomizer Nuzlocke series. I love Pokemon so much. In case you don't know this already, I've been watching it forever. And I finally figured out how to randomize the games and to play them. And I'm one of those people that could play Pokemon games over and over and over again, especially with this concept of randomizing them and having new forms of Nuzlocks. If you're interested in it at all, if you're interested in Pokemon at all and don't really know what randomizers are or Nuzlocks, I would really check it out. I'm so excited. I'm so proud of how it's turned out already. By the time you watch this vlog, I will have already had 3 episodes up, so you have a little bit to binge. So please check that out. I'll have the link. I'll have the link come up here and also in the description for my first video. But you really should check it out. I'm really proud of it. I'm really excited about it. In fact, I kind of want to show the intro for it because it's a very simple intro, but I put it together. I took part of this like music from Glitch City. You should definitely check his channel out. I'll have his channel or channel link in the description. He makes some really good remixes of like game music, and he did a really good one of the Slumbering Weald from Pokemon Sword and Shield. So if you really enjoyed the intro that I made, then please check out the actual video, which is linked in the in my Black Randomizer series. So you should definitely check out that full video because like the music is just banging. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and show the intro for that Randomizer Black series just to kind of get you maybe interested in it. And when that's done, I will be returning back with you with another clip. Hopefully, probably tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to do any clips over the weekend. I'm hoping to maybe at least do one on Saturday. But guaranteed, I will do one tomorrow just to kind of give you like a little bit of an idea of like what I got done over the week. And yeah, I think that's about all I have for today. So I will see you in the next clip. Hello everyone, welcome back. Welcome back for me. It's been a couple days. It is now Saturday, September 4th. This is going to be the last day that I'm going to record for this vlog. I'm planning on kind of recording from Mondays to Saturdays every week, and hopefully do a little better job of vlogging from here on out. I'm really trying to like get used to, sorry, I'm a little out of breath, I just walked up the stairs. I'm hoping to get a little bit used to like, I don't know, just kind of vlogging about like my everyday life and not just talking about books or talking about like what I'm working on, but actually kind of like showing you some stuff too. But yeah, I'm hoping to at least show you guys a little bit more about what's going on in my life. I just want to give you a quick reading update, quick update on like what's been going on last 2 days. So quickly, just to kind of go over real quick, Yolk. I have been reading Yolk for the last couple days. I haven't been reading like super much, but yesterday I actually read a lot more than I have recently. I had a little bit more time because I was able to get most of my homework done for this week. So I'm over halfway done with Yoke. I have about 150 pages left or so, and I'm really enjoying it. It's kind of a 4-star read right now. I don't know, like, I'm kind of a little confused on I'm kind of confused on what's happening in the story, only because it kind of feels like there's two different stories happening right now. Like, so there's the main story, which is between Jane and June, and how June has cancer, and it's kind of like this sibling rivalry kind of thing going on, where it's very imperfect that they like the relationship they have. It seems as though June has always been like the older sister and kind of has taken advantage of that role because they're Korean, and like their kind of heritage, their kind of traditions is that, you know, the older siblings are the ones, and you know, the ones that are superior, that, you know, kind of have the younger siblings help them and, like, you know, do things for them. And she takes advantage of that a lot. I kind of noticed that, like, she not only makes Jane do things for her, but she also has been like using her for things that she really shouldn't be using her for. And so, like, it's really imperfect in that June is very unstable, and she seems to be kind of a loner, that she, like, I don't know, kind of thinks really highly of herself, whereas Jane is really upset with her and her family in general. But she also has a lot of issues where she is having a really hard time kind of figuring out what her future is, and she feels as though she's not a real person, that she's invisible to the world. And there's this like so like there's that whole plot, but the how that ties in is that she has met with a like past friend of hers from church when she used to live in Texas. I forget his name off the top of my head, but they like kind of reacquainted each other, and she kind of like got interested in him all of a sudden. Like she all of a sudden was like, oh, I like him a lot, and she tried to like have sex with him and stuff like that. And I was really confused because, like, I really enjoyed that part of the story. Like, it felt like a, you know, contemporary romance, but like very realistic contemporary romance. Like, it didn't seem like it was a story. It actually felt like something that was happening in real life, only because it was very like messy, and it was very I don't know, just like unnatural, like, or I'm sorry, natural, actually, natural in that, like, the things that were happening between them was awkward, and like that there were moments where, like, okay, I could see them like maybe having sex or something, but then like it kind of stops all of a sudden. I don't know, it just felt a lot more real, like those scenes. But then all of a sudden it goes back to the story with June, and it feels like two different books, kind of. Like, there's a whole contemporary story with Jane and June and them being sisters and family and all that, and like all the drama that's going on with her having cancer and stuff. But then there's another, like, what feels like a whole other story with like a romance contemporary between Jane and this other guy. And it's weird because it feels like that was kind of thrown in the middle of the story, and they like kind of reference it a little bit here and there whenever like the Jane and June part of the story is happening. And I think that that is the main like plot, the main point of the story is like what's happening with June. But I don't know, it just feels like there's something else going on with the story, and it feels like it's a whole nother story. I mean, I have 150 pages left of this, so I'm thinking that like maybe they're going to have like, I don't know, something tying it together, or like there's gonna be some reason for why they're doing what they're doing. But I don't know. I mean, I'm still really enjoying it. Like, it definitely is a lot of fun. I'm like I said, I'm kind of feeling like it's 4 stars. It depends on how the ending goes. It could very well become a 5-star book though, because it definitely is. I don't know. It just has something about it that is very different that I haven't really read before. So I've been really enjoying that. I've been reading that a lot. Like I had mentioned, I finished my schoolwork. I just have one like small little assignment that I have to get done. I'm gonna get that done today, and I have my D&D session tonight with the group that I run, and I'm really excited because they are now going into they're going to be finishing up what they're working on, and Lucas, his character, is getting something special, hopefully either this session or next week's session. I'm not really sure when it's going to happen. It really depends on what the characters kind of do, but this is actually episode what would end up being episode 4 for the campaign. So you guys won't see this for a while. In fact, you haven't even seen episode 2. No, you would have seen episode 2 at this point in the vlog, I believe. But yeah, like, this is episode 4 that I'm talking about. So you're getting a little bit of a sneak peek in it if you've watched this far in the video. And if you have watched this far, please comment down below something D&D related or fantasy related, just to kind of, you know, I don't know, just show me that you're watching this. But anyway, I've been really enjoying like kind of prepping for that. I've been doing a lot of work very far in advance in the campaign because I knew that I'd be really busy with school and everything else. So I really wanted to make sure that I had everything prepared so that whatever situation might come up with the group, It's there, it's ready. I've been doing a lot of work with that, although I haven't really been doing that too much recently with it. But I'm really excited to finally be able to get started again. We had a week off from doing the campaign, so I've been really looking forward to tonight's session. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that we are actually starting something new. I'm hoping tonight. I'm kind of still speaking with some people right now, but we might be starting something new. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but there's a tabletop RPG. Well, not tabletop, but it's an RPG game called Monster of the Week. It's basically the basic premise is that you are hunters solving mysteries, and you could, if you think of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Supernatural, like those kind of TV shows where it's like very isolated mysteries where there's like an overarching plot, but they're like different mysteries that they like find out who the monster is and they have to try to figure out how to stop it, how to kill it. It's like that kind of a game. And I've listened to a lot of podcasts. I listened to a lot of people playing this game. I've played it myself with some of my friends a few times in the past, but I finally came up with like a really, really interesting campaign plot that I've been really wanting to do for a long time. And I was able to get a few people that were interested in it to want to play. So I wrote up a couple things over the last 2 days that I'm going to be making into like the actual campaign. And I'm hoping maybe tonight, if not tonight, then in a week or two, we are going to have our first kind of like initial session for that, where they're going to make their characters, their hunters, and then I'm going to kind of give the introduction to the mystery, to the campaign, and we'll go up from there. But yeah, so I'm hoping to have that tonight, and I'm really looking forward to it. Other than that, I don't think I really have much else to say, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it. Please subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.